Logan.
Thanks, Ginger. The Metropolitan Transit System is considering a 2020 ballot measure that would increase sales tax to fund future transportation projects. Some are also advocating for MTS to fund no-cost transit passes for young San Diegans through that proposed sales tax increase. Here to talk more about it is Hoover High School Junior Class President Diana Frias and also District 4 County Supervisor Nathan Fletcher. Good to see the two of you. How are you?
Good.
The two of you did the ride to school, right? The supervisor accompanied you to kind of get a feel for what's it really like. Tell us what the ride was like today and what it's normally like for you to get to school.
Today, it was an interesting ride, obviously, having great conversation with Mr. Fletcher. The point of it was just to get him to see what I do every day or most days and what other students have to experience. And as I mentioned to him earlier, it's very different reading about it and people telling you about it than actually experiencing it. So
tell us about it. What is it like for you? How long does it take? How much does it cost? What's it like to get to school from your house?
Well, usually I pay the normal fare, which is $250, so that's in cash. And usually it's quite the bumpy ride due to the streets and sort of the cracks in the streets, but that's another matter that we can discuss later, I'm sure.
Yeah. Does it take a long time?
I think from the bus stop that I get on, that I get off, is about 20 minutes and then another 10-minute walk.
Okay. What were your thoughts, Supervisor? On the ride?
I mean, Diana's 100% right. It's not enough to be told that folks depend on this. You really do have to go out and you have to see it. And I think Diana represents a generation that is using their voice and using their power. And she's modest in that she's not just a student at Hoover High and not just a class president, but she's a powerful voice as a part of Mid-City Can to really make the case for why we need youth opportunity passes. You know, education is supposed to be free in this country, but when you have to pay cash to get to school, we aren't fulfilling that promise. And I think it really brings home the burden that folks face every day, which adds up over time. And I think the need for increased frequency, for more buses, for more dedicated areas so that students can get there at a time that's convenient to them, do their work and get back and not have to stress and worry about their transportation system. So it was good for me to see not only her, but then every stop other students would get on. And there's a lot of folks in San Diego who this is the way they go to life, and I think that we want to provide more service to help those folks.
So is the focus on the cost of getting to school and back, or is it that it's just difficult because maybe there needs to be more buses or more routes or more trains?
Well, Diana's telling me what to do, so I'm going to let her answer that.
Well, what do you think about that? Are you upset? So it's costing you $5 a day to get to and from,
yes,
essentially. Is it the wait times that are so long, or is it that there's too many stops, or you need more buses, or more trains, or more routes? What would solve this issue, Diana?
It's a mixture of all of those factors that you just mentioned. Of course, the cost in my community of City Heights, obviously, we're more of a... sorry, I forgot. I'm blanking.
That's okay.
Low-income families.
Right,
sorry.
Sure. And
so that's obviously another sort of burden that we have to worry about, transportation, which is something that we shouldn't have to worry about. To me, transportation provides that opportunity to get to work, to get to extracurricular activities, sports even, internships. So I feel if we have all the frequency and the youth opportunity passes, more routes, everything that was mentioned, then our future would improve so
we
much.
mentioned a possible sales tax increase in order to lessen the financial burden for students and young people. What would the increase be?
Well, what MTS has authority to do would be a half cent within the MTS jurisdiction. You know, I think it's important to note LA Metro runs their system on 2 full cents of sales tax. At San Diego, we have 1/2 of 1 cent. As a region, we've never really committed. But we're also one of the few regions that's seen ridership increase. As transit agencies around the country are struggling, we are up over 1 million passengers. We carry over 300,000 San Diegans every single day. We have a good safety record. We have a good on-time record. But we really could do a lot to alleviate the burden on some folks, but also to get new riders into the system with an appropriate investment in building the transportation system for today, not the one that we've inherited from the 1970s. And so I think there's an opportunity out there. But I think it's really important. Folks in my line of work, we talk a lot, and I think it's important that we listen. And
Sure.
I think that we need to listen to those who are impacted and those who have a perspective when we go out and see it. And so we've been trying to do that as a part of our Elevate process, where we go go to the community and really hear what are the needs, what are the things you would like, what would you prioritize, and we have to continue to do a good job of listening and factoring that into our plans.
I'm getting a hard rap, but will this be a bill? I mean, are we going to be voting on this?
It would go to the voters.
Okay.
If the Board of Directors at MTS moves forward, then it would go to the voters in November of 2020.
Nathan Fletcher, Diana Frias, thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All the best. All right.